You record and then you like what? Do the right thing?
Yeah, like if someone says something wrong, I can expose them, or if they said something right, I can promote them.
Mm-hmm.
Just just this sort of thing. I
Okay.
don't really believe in these like privacy rights.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so that's the reason why, you actually record everybody. But why is it that you're against you being recorded? Is it not possible you could be saying the wrong thing, or it could help you in the long run?
I mean, it's less likely, but I'll just say this too: is of course, I want to maximize my personal liberty
Mm-hmm.
and decrease everyone else's personal liberty. That's just natural. That's just human instinct. When
Mm-hmm.
someone gets empowered, they become a president, for example. They want to, become more authoritative. But when someone's just a citizen or just another, just layman,
Mm-hmm.
then they want to increase democracy and decrease authoritativeness.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, like this is just reality. Is we just try and maximize our power depending on what position in society we're in.
Hmm.
And even you said, even honestly, I got this from Elite Stars of Ramadan. It was in chapter 3.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of spoke about this. So
Yeah, and what did the chapter 3 in Elite Stars of Ramadan talk about, you're saying?
well, Sajid knows. Well, okay, I'll just say I'll like set it up and I'll let Sajid finish. Yeah, at least chapter 3. It sort of touches on these geopolitical situations and touches on like the nature of humans and how they operate within these situations and maximizing our power. Sajid, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, and that really ties into the habits for better success, the 5 habits for better success. A sound mind, sound body, good work ethic, and so on and so forth. So look, yeah, so all of that really dwells into the idea of human liberty and how those who passion is really defined by finding benefit in what you do and what others do around you. So yeah, and all in all, it really does. It's really synonymous, and I think you should be advocating for what Yusuf was saying, actually.
True. Wow, yeah, that's a good point.
Okay. And all this again is somehow justifying Mr. Yusuf Karim recording people and not feeling safe being recorded himself.
It comes from your book. It comes from your book. The
That is,
justification is found in chapter 3 of Elite Stars of Ramadan.
and the justification has to do with you feeling that you can somehow manipulate people while you should not be manipulated.
Yeah, because it's just human nature.
I see.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. And isn't it a fact that if you're able to suppress that, you really are standing outside of those who are not able to do so? Like if you're able to suppress that lower self.
No, I would say the opposite. I would say the opposite.
Why is that?
I don't know, Sajid, did you want to jump in? Sorry.
Well, no, we want to hear what you have to say. We want to hear your mind, not anybody else's. So why don't you elaborate
No,
on
I
what you're
just want
saying?
to say. Okay, I'll let Sajid go. Because I cut him off. That's the only thing. So, Sajid, you can go first and I'll finish.
Yeah, just chill. I handing it back to you, Mom.
Okay. All right, Kaisab, did you want to? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to hear your thoughts, Mr. Karim.
Oh, about what?
What you were substantiating. You're substantiating the fact that by you being empowered, you want to manipulate everybody else, but you're not going to get manipulated.
True.
Okay. So why don't you expand on that?
No, I think it's something. Some things are just self-evident. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know.
Let me ask you this. Do you feel that by you becoming this president that you are in university, I mean, do you feel that somehow has driven you and guided you to, as you mentioned, being more authoritative over everybody while there should not be any authority over you?
Well, there is authority over me. Allah.
Correct. So
Creator of everyone.
very good. So do you see the importance of you humbling yourself? Do you see the importance of you submitting yourself to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that regard?
Of course. Of course.
Okay. So do you understand that you're actually going to be asked how you dealt with your responsibilities pertaining to the matters and the affairs in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best.
Okay.
Right? So,
It's true, yeah.
okay, so really what you want to cite in Elite Stars of Ramadan, not just Elite Star, I mean in chapter 3, where, you have to substantiate the point that we don't do anything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does everything. We're just tools. He only put us here temporarily. And as the Sahabas, I mean, every last one of them that you look at their testaments and their testimonies, at the end of their lives, they're just like, we wanted to do so much more. I mean, they regret the fact that they did not put more effort into being selfless, into being more, resourceful for the creation of Allah that He had entrusted them with. So you need to take, we all want to take that perspective. We all want to utilize that mentality, because that will go a whole lot further than, it's either you're ordering the menu or you're on the menu like they have. And the sad reality is that, this world is a prison. And the more you grow to understand that there is a start and an end to it, to this life, while there's a start to the next life and no ending to it, then you will have a better perception on dealing with the social abnormalities. And that's what we have. We have a lot of social abnormalities. And we should know how to deal with that, or how to work around those abnormalities. We should know what is it that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in terms of these abnormalities, because then we will be able to take the orders that He gave to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam back then, and they will suffice us today. They will suffice us today. But, definitely people have left, not, and it's in the Quran that people will migrate away from the Quran. It's in the Quran that people will abandon the Quran. It's there, and that's what it has come to. So at this point in time, if we try to find a solution, we must look in the Quran for it. And if we look anywhere else, we're going to be spinning our wheels for another 40 years, if not more.
It's true.
We actually have to, we have to come to terms that we have these issues. These issues are clearly specified by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that they will happen. And what He directed the Prophet, the Ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to do about these matters. This will, yes, this will make a huge impact, a huge difference. Instead of going along with abnormalities and claiming that, there's justification for them, or, there is some type of a blessing in not saying anything and not doing anything about it. That's not a blessing. That's a wrath. Because the believers, they substantiate the truth. They aid the truth, and they cite out the falsehood, and they shun it. So whenever you have, a society that is just, or a community, a group of people that are just quiet and silent and refusing to make any type of long-term adjustments, then they're justifying what they have. They're justifying the situation that they're in. They don't really intend on doing anything about it long term. I mean, do you see anywhere, in your respective centers in the north or in the east or in the south? We all know that we have these problems, and what do we always come to conclusive understanding about? Sunday school, Jummah khutbahs, halakas at night, swan raisings, It's all the same. It's all the same. What's that?
It's a good solution. It's a good solution, honestly.
What's the solution?
Going to Jama'ah, halaqah, these things are good.
Yeah, they're good. They're definitely good. And what have they produced over the decades? Building masjids. Say building. They've accomplished building masajids.
Yes, that's true.
Really? Okay.
We have one built here in Richmond.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, why don't we make it a whole lot easier and just build a stadium and call it quits?
Whoa, you can't say that.
Listen, when these places are built, right? what do they put the agenda to be for? You know, the agenda for these places, yeah, we have 5 daily salahs, but nobody really comes to 5 daily salahs, do they? I mean, the masjid is practically empty all day. So let's take the 5 daily prayers out. It's also Jummah time, okay? And when you go to Jummah, how long does it take for everybody to be in and out of there? 45 minutes, hour, 15 minutes? Right, so there goes your Jummah until when? Next Jummah, right? Ramadan, the same thing. We're going to have Ramadan Taraweeh prayer. How long does that last for? 1 month. Okay, so there you have it. And then halaqas, some halaqa at night. Okay. How do you find... No, don't... Oh, I'm sorry. There's always going to be a community hall because we need to house, the politicians when they come. How do you see this to be the long-term solution to people abandoning the Quran? First of all, the politicians, I mean, I don't really get how Muslims do not have a stronger and a clearer understanding, or just a clearer collaboration, so to speak, to where they themselves, like the Islam itself, stands outside of this party democracy Republican thing. Why is it that you always have to have these politicians come and do fundraisings or appear in Muslim centers? Why is that? Like, how is that according to the prosperity of Muslims as a whole? Because what, you're getting involved in politics with politicians?
Okay, so what's your opinion on Ilhan?
On what?
Omar. On Ilhan Omar.
Well, to be honest, I do not personally know her. I definitely have, heard her speeches and whatnot, but I mean, I know her name is Ilham Omar. That's it. She speaks, she has some khair. I don't really know much. I don't know her personally. But again, I mean, yeah, we have some Muslim senators inside, but what are they doing? Like, what can they really do? Besides, like, win the next real...
We need to keep it neutral.
Congresswoman, though.
Huh?
Yeah, no, like, I don't know,
like what? Yeah, that's the thing. Like, what is it really? Like Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, right? When we look at his sunnah, we find example where he established political connections, right? When he went to Medina, he wrote up a chorus for the Yahud who were living there, the people of the people of Khaybar or whatever, to make sure that they had this understanding of protecting one another. Like this we can find. So why don't we adopt this particular model than going along with, decades of what we've had? I mean, we have the best example. Why are we abandoning the best example for something like we don't even know where it came from?
So you're saying that instead of us trying to, like, or Muslims trying to infiltrate the system and, like, try and, like, promote Islam through democracy, instead we should just form our own sector of society and make, treaties and deals with...
I mean, I would not say exactly what you're saying, but I don't think what you're saying is too far off. I think that there should definitely be, a political Muslim party that is separate from this, independent Republican and, Democratic parties, sure. Because Islam, everybody needs Islam. Everybody needs Islam. Just we who are Muslims, we need to understand the value of the Quran today. Today, what is the value of it today? What solutions does it have today for us under these circumstances? If all of the efforts that we put into running after non-Muslims and satisfying them and trying to prove to them how likely we are of them and how much we can live with them, instead of us putting our resources there, we need to industrialize what it is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We've left that totally out. I mean, just look at you and all of your friends who are in university. I'm just keeping it real, but think about it. Look at all the friends, that we know of, and how they've moved on into the dunya and left the akhirah. left
Whoa, what are you trying to say? How are we doing that? We're still in the book club. We're still
We're in the book club.
practicing. We're still
Listen, let me back up a little bit, right? When you get to your, your six-figure incomes, inshallah, like after you finish school and everything, and you're with these corporations or corporate jobs and everything, do you really think that there is freedom in that type of work society or what?
Well, let's see what's. Let's have Sajid. All right, let's. Oh, it's Yasser number 4.
Take the earbuds out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I actually can't do that right now. Yeah.
So is it or isn't it?
Rooney.
Meaning that, yeah. So
I think
people.
what Yasser means to say by his mumbles and growls is that, look, the six-figure income is never the end goal.
Okay.
So
Who is
So
this guy? Who is this guy? Who is this guy?
I think he's trying to say like it's like a stepping stone.
So is this
Yeah, I don't know. 703.
so do people really have
That's Mr. Vice.
do people really have liberty being in those six figures income? Does that guarantee freedom of the person?
It depends how it's made, to be honest. If it's, if it's under some, if you're under some superior and restricted by their like regulations and rules to make your six-figure income, no, you're, essentially like an enslaved coon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, whoa! What's this profile picture? What's this profile picture? Who is this? Abduli? Or who is this?
It's of an infant. It's of an infant.
All right. Can we stick to the topic here? I mean, because I have to make sure we're clear.
This is the Imam in the book club.
Let me make sure I understand. So you're telling me.
Imam Qari Sahib, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So let's see if we understand
Did
this.
you get a new phone number? I thought I had added you as a contact.
It's all right. Don't worry about it. But so to understand. But Sajid.
To understand Yasser's take on it, yeah.
Sajid.
So speaking on his behalf.
Sajid.
Yeah.
Isn't it always the case when you go to work for those corporations, you always are working under somebody's protocol, somebody's time? Isn't that always the case?
That's real.
True.
Right. So are you really free by being in those prospective job positions?
No, not
Right, not really. So you mean to tell me that you're going to go, and I'm just rationalizing it. I'm just trying to put all the pieces where they belong. I'm going to go work for somebody who is going to practically confine me to their agenda and just pay me a lot of money for it.
So, are you speaking to the general population, or are you speaking to specifically?
No, he's saying you.
Yeah.
He's saying you.
No.
No,
That's not what I said.
My plan is never to.
That's not what I said. We're talking about the scenario. The generalized scenario is that, again, we go.
Generalized.
Yes, we're generalizing it. Okay, we go through all of that to be confined by the corporate political mumbo jumbo or political mess. That's what it is. And in the meantime, we do not prosper in the understanding of the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is the Quran. It's that simple. So, yeah, and why are we doing it? Let me see if I can flip the script a little bit. Let's say you Googled a Quran teacher or Quran professional or whatever, and it came up with $100,000 or $150,000 a year, right? What are the chances that you would not pursue, or what are the chances that the pursuing of that degree would be less than what you have today compared to the other positions that you have that are paying that much? So really, the real reason why people are going for those jobs is because they're paying a lot, but they're going into their own confinements. Had they flipped it, particularly Muslimin, then we would have seen an industrialization by now, by the Quranic practitioners or by the Quranic effort. But instead, you don't have that. So that's why now the Quranic revolution forever in the United States, 2022. Yeah, it's on. See? The Ikhwan. The Ikhwan. Listen to the Ikhwan. طبعا. Mr. Kareem, طبعا. There you go. All right. Well, I mean, I'm glad everybody. So we have Mr. Sajid and Yasir and Yusuf Kareem, correct?
True.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. The موحدين أيها الموحدين من الله الله من الرحمن الله من الرحيم الله من الملك الله. Right?
Right.
Okay, do not forget بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر. This proves that mankind is completely lost. إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. There's only one exception, and it has 4 elements. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
No way, you can't leave. You can't leave yet.
The elements are آمنوا آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون إلى آخره. عملوا الصالحات والمؤمنون والمؤمنات بعضهم أولياء بعض يأمرون بالمعروف وينهون عن المنكر إلى آخره. وتواصوا بالحق فماذا بعد الحق إلا الضلال. They have to stand firm on the truth. وتواصوا بالصبر, and remain patient with it. Inshallah, we'll talk. Wassalam. And thank you very much for the interview of the president of the MSA.
Abdul Latif is here. Wait, guys, Abdul
Latif. Oh, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother,